microdose, yeah, microdose, 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 dose, microdose, microdose, dose, microdose, microdose, dose.
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here, coming to you with the newest edition of the Microdose. How you doing? What you doing? It's been dramatic times for old Kush of the North Star here. Less than 48 hours ago, as of this recording, my work from my former life was inducted into the NorCal Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. It's a huge honor for me. I don't know if we'll ever go any further than that, and it feels good to say. And we're still processing it. I'm also happy though that we didn't end up like Tommy and Goodfellas, because that couple of times that flashed in my head too. Anyways, enough about old Uncle Kush. We got a special guest. We always got a special guest with me. I met him on the set of Len Kabasinkis' Pact of Vengeance. He's the director of photography. He's the editor. His name is Steven Steinbacher. What's good, Steven?
Life's good, isn't it?
I think so.
You're getting accolades. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Stuff's good though. I just got an internship, so that's something.
Can you say where you're interning?
It's like an editing house. They do like a lot of Netflix stuff. They're doing a weird show for Netflix. I saw some sex toys laying around the the editing stations, which I wasn't expecting.
Let's hope that's inspiration for the edit and not just like, no, this is how many hours we log in the bay, son. Like you got to have your toy and just ride that ride with a smile. All right?
Yeah. I'm glad this isn't Howard Stern, because then you'd have like an editing Sibian or whatever that thing was called. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I knew of it. I don't think I saw too much of the Sibian, but I know of it. What's even scarier, so my cousin was a big Howard Stern fan. He even had the subscription to the Howard Stern TV, the short-lived pay-per-view series. And his roommate had his nephew over one time. His nephew's 4, 5, maybe 6 tops. But even he was like, the Sibian. Like, oh no. Like he didn't even like mispronounce it like 6-year-olds do, like basic words like Sibian. That's a complicated word even for us in our 40s, okay?
Yeah, that's like crazy.
The Sibian. Like, oh no. Steven, as I mentioned at the top of the show, you and I met in Los Angeles recently. And I remember pulling up to the location. Now, this was actually the first time I would meet Len Kabasinkis too, despite the fact that we've been working together almost a year now. So he saw me, he recognized me, but I saw a look on your face and you're like, who is this guy in the bandana and the glasses and the wild ass beard?
You looked like a pirate. You looked like a pirate. Because you like pulled, because before you like walked out of the car and came to the set, you did like you pulled in front of the driveway and you looked at us for a second and then you drove off. And so I didn't know if you were like Leo's friend or something. And I just like looked at everyone and I was like, this pirate just pulled up, stared us down, and then went and parked. But then like as soon as I knew you were involved with the production, I was like, hell yeah, like let's go. I think it's a good look. Don't get me wrong. It was just a very potent like image. You right there. He had those Morpheus sunglasses on. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, man. That's the standard op gear here, but like I actually have a whole little stack off to the side here. This isn't me.
He has multiple colors. This is insane.
All right, those are just the first 3 I wanted to pick up. There's like a dozen right over here because I do another show called Waffle Box, which actually has a visual component. So I'm just like, we can't wear the same thing twice in a row because that's just that's not going to work.
You can't be on camera without sunglasses, obviously. So
no, I can't. Or in public like I did at the awards the other night. So yeah, man, we made a movie together, dude. Let's talk about you and how did you meet Len Kabasinkis?
Doing what we're doing right now. Can you believe that? I had a podcast back when I was
that's
working
the horror
at a fucking
boys, right?
Yeah. I was working at a grocery store trying to save up for the camera we ended up shooting the movie on. And I reached out to a bunch of people, and Len was pretty much the first one to get back to me. He was like immediate. He was like, yeah, I'll come on to your podcast. And I'd seen like a couple of his movies, but I wanted to like really grill him. So I watched like 12 of his movies in 3 days or something, getting ready for the podcast. And it was a really good interview. And, you know, he's just talking to him about film, like when he's really in the zone, he gets really passionate about it. You know, you get to hear him like work through his process. And that just made an impression on me at the time. Especially because he was shooting features on a camcorder, the Canon G20, which is what I had from high school still. And I hadn't used it in a while. Like I hadn't thought about shooting a short on it just because it was like, it's not like a camera where you can change lenses and stuff and make
it's like basically it's like it's your mom's video camera, right?
It is, yeah, but it is also a little nicer than that. Like it has a nice lens in there, and just he shot a movie called Blood Prism on it, and the way he shot that film, I was like, damn, you can do whatever you want with this fucking thing. And so even while I was saving up for that camera, like my new one, the Black Magic that we shot the movie on, I was like, it like got me back into shooting stuff and like practicing and like working on my lighting and stuff, even though I was shooting on like a shittier camera than I wanted to be like. And so a couple of years down the line, he like puts out a call on his Facebook, like, hey, anyone want to shoot and edit my next film? So I sent him a short of mine called Junkie. And he was like, yeah, that's some nice lighting. And we made a movie. Easy as that.
Right on, man. How many locations did you use? So obviously we were in Los Angeles. Did you go to Philly at one point as well? Did he come to Denver? What happened?
No. I was in Erie.
Okay.
We shot a lot in Erie, pretty much the entire film in Erie. Or maybe a town near Erie. I think he doesn't actually live in Erie. I think he lives like right next to Erie in like a smaller town.
Okay.
But the Performing Arts Center in Erie, incredible location. We shot almost all the action scenes. Not all. There are a lot of action scenes in a lot of locations, but we shot like some sick shit there because it was like 5 stories, and a lot of them are just these like giant concrete slabs with graffiti. And he's used it in a couple films now, I think. But you don't even. I feel like you won't know when you're watching this one. That's my hope. I feel like we really used it in a really exciting way. Like I'm really happy with basically everything we shot there.
Nice. Yeah. Obviously, you and I both have production backgrounds. I've only done a couple quote unquote film things. Like I was a part of the 48-hour film project one year. And that was, that was a great experience, a lot of people are like,
do on it?
I was literally just, the bottom rung of the ladder. So if they need me to get pizza, I got pizza. They need me to hang a sandbag, I hung a sandbag. Pick up all the C stands, I got that shit. Like I did.
So you were. It sounds like you were a grip. You were a PA. You were crafty. I mean, it sounds like you killed it.
Yeah,
that's essential.
Despite the fact that there was no pay, I earned my pay that day. And when I say that, like, I actually got a lot of great jobs out of that experience.
Totally.
Like everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Kush, that's the dude. He got the pizza and he drove the car and he fucking stuck the C stand. Yeah, let's get him out here, And we did that. But then, that's 48 hours. That was a 90-second project, 3-minute project, whatever it was. This was the first time I'm actually going to work on a feature, no matter how independent it was. And I was just like, this is an interesting experience, especially like watching the way Len directs. I would have no reason to know that everyone else does this too, or he's the only one who does this. But it's like
nobody makes a movie like Len Kabasinkis. That guy makes a movie in his own lane, especially the stuff in LA. That was like
expand on that.
Yeah. He shoots quick, and he gets it done. He really does. Like I don't think he and I went substantially over any day other than the last big action day in Erie that we shot. And we only went like an hour or two over that day. We were like pretty much always coming in under time, even though we were shooting a lot per day. And it's because he knows how to make the movie the way he wants to, the stuff you were there for in LA was like, in a way it was low production value, but I feel like we made the most of it because we shot a lot of stuff around Leo's house. But that alley sequence, we moved to that alley, like that ended up way better than if we shot it in the way we initially wanted to.
Okay.
So the fact that the fact that he's like so open to, all right, that didn't work out. Let's go and try something else. And he's adaptable like that is very unique. Like not a lot of people would just freak out and stop shooting. You know, they take a day and try to figure it out. And that's he's
There's
gonna
no
make
time
the
for
movie.
that.
Yeah.
There's no time for that. Yeah.
There is not time for that.
I remember a lot of that stuff with Fog City Wrestling where we're trying to shoot a promo on the street and a hobo wanders into the frame, or a car alarm goes off and you're like, we have to move all of this now 20 feet over here, or whatever the case is. Now we have to make that work. And stuff with the extras on the hospital set, I found that really fascinating. I was like, it would never occur to me just like have random nurse stand there, have these two people wander up the hallway, and then tell them to stop when they need to stop. You know?
That stuff was fun, wasn't it?
It was a good time. I did not appreciate the spider bites I got all up and down my leg.
Spider bites?
Bad spider bites.
Oh man.
Where like my sister was like, you need to go to the urgent care. And at first I tried to play it off cool, but like after I was like, maybe I do need to go to urgent care. We didn't anyway. We didn't, and they were fine. But it was just like, you know. So I was the audio guy on set, so I need to be in like all the weirdest positions. And then, you know, sometimes I was literally just laying on the floor with you know, hold microphones up, and that
you were a trooper. Like, I understand how you got bit because you were on the floor a lot that day, especially.
Yeah, the floor was filthy. I had no idea.
That was a weird.
Shit was.
I don't want to like say bad stuff about that location, but that was like a weird. The floors were strange at that place. Was not what I was expecting at all.
It's a very cool location where it's that we were in a warehouse that was lobbied off, folks, into multiple sets. So there's a hospital set, there's a courtroom set, there's like a living room, there's a bedroom, like there's like a half a dozen things going on in this place. Yeah. But no one also sweeps up either, apparently.
And there's like grip tape from previous films all over the floor that isn't like easy to rip up. It's like baked in under layers.
Taking up dirt. Linoleum. Yeah.
Taking
up parts of the linoleum.
That was all crazy.
That was a little nuts. But we
you got spider bites. That sucks. Sorry to hear that.
You know, the worst. I was in shorts that day, like a J-Brone, because I was like, hey, you know, we're going to be inside. I don't know if there's going to be air conditioning here. I'm not expecting spider bites. One of them snuck into my glove and bit my ring. No. And that was the only one I was aware of. I was like, yo, what happened here? And sure enough, I was like, oh. And then I looked at my calf. I was like, oh. Thankfully, it didn't go past my pant cuff, which would have been just above my knee. And I was just like, do we got any spider bites anywhere else? No. The answer to that was no. How was your LA experience overall? I'm sorry we didn't hang out more after the shoot.
It was tiring though. Like some of those days were crazy. I get you.
For sure.
It was. I had a lot of fun in LA. It was a good time, but also like very stressed. That's a hard town to shoot an independent movie in if you don't have a lot of connections. I'm gonna say that. I'm glad we didn't shoot the whole movie there. Just compared to what we were doing in Erie, I felt like we had a lot more resources. You know, like we didn't have a producer with us. But at the same time, in Erie, I didn't have Juan the whole time, and I didn't have you at all. So having Juan there, a grip, doing whatever I needed, and having you, someone actually running audio, that was incredible. So in a way, it made it a lot easier for me. Like the stuff with the dojo, if I hadn't had you there, that all would have had to have been ADR or something. It would have been terrible. So very thankful you were around.
How did the audio turn out? Just so I know, because again, I'm super green at this. Like you handed me a deck and you're like, just watch the levels and try and balance it out with this knob here. And I tried to do that, but at the same time, so like Jenna was like, so how'd the audio sound? I was like, so dig this, doll. Like I'm 6 feet away from you, so I can still hear you. And plus you're coming in on the cans. So it's all just kind of distorting. So I'm just trying to watch the levels like I was instructed. She's like, yeah, okay, I get that.
I'll be honest, I have not touched the audio much because I'm still
fascinating.
I'm still assembling the rough cut. This is a big movie. I'm doing like all of the posts other than the VFX, which we have a guy doing that, Gordon. But I did have to dig into. The reason I haven't touched the audio is we didn't really have time to slate a lot of the movie. So anytime I have to pull a line of dialogue, I have to sort through like 20 minutes of audio looking for a specific take. But even then, I can't tell if it's the close-up or the wide. So I have to like look at all the surrounding files and get context that way. It takes forever, but I did have to pull some audio for the trailer. Leo's What Happened Here, and my boom audio sounded terrible and I was really scared, but I pulled your love on Leo for that line of dialogue, What Happened Here, in the trailer, and I combined the two mixes between the boom and that, and it sounds a billion times better. So from what I've heard, you killed it.
All right, well, fingers crossed that we keep that going.
No, I am positive you did the best with the circumstances. You know, it's like you didn't have time to adjust the lav in between every shot if we needed the lav adjusted. You know?
Well, I did what I could. I was like, yo, someone's phone is vibrating. What's going on here?
Yeah. Oh, I did. I found that take recently. I was putting some of the Leo Call stuff together. It was his phone in his pocket, right? Do you remember that? Yeah, I do. That was funny.
So it's been 5 weeks since we all left LA. How far into this are you? Yes, sir.
Well, the trailer sort of put me ahead in a way, and it put me way behind. Also, I have because
that's the whole project. That's a whole project in itself. The trailer.
It's a whole project in itself, and then I have to like master all the shots, like make them look good for just the trailer specifically, right?
FYI, they
when
look
I'm
great.
like, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I would say I put like 60 or 70 hours just into the trailer. Like, I'm not even joking. I put 10 hours into just the audio after I thought I was done, because it was like, I need to get this sounding really good. But I feel like at this point, after all that, it does look and sound good. So I'm happy. But yeah, I think I have like the first like 15 minutes basically done in the assembly line. And then a bunch of scenes from the rest of the film pretty much finished. I just haven't like pulled them in because I don't have the connective tissue ready yet.
And do you, when you go into this, do you have a goal like we're going to make a 90-minute feature or a 107-minute feature? Like,
so I think the script was like 73 pages or something, and with action, it can either be like a lot longer than what the script says when you see it in like play out, right? Or it can be a lot quicker than whatever's written in the script, depending on what the action is. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly what the runtime is. I don't think it'll be a very long movie. I think it'll be like 80 minutes.
80 minutes.
And I think that's fine. It's an action movie. It's, you know, it's loaded with
we don't need to make the next Marvel cinematic film. Like,
no, not every movie needs to be 2.5 hours. A lot of movies should just be short films, honestly. But
yes, indeed. Speaking of films, man, so you and I were friends on Facebook now since this fantastic experience. You just saw a movie that I was not even on my radar. I still don't know what it's about. I'm not even 100% sure how to pronounce it correctly, but you saw it 3 times in 2 days. What was that?
It was Paul Verhoeven. I don't know his name. Ooh. He's like my favorite director.
He's great.
He did RoboCop, Showgirls,
Starship Troopers,
Total Recall. Yeah, Starship Troopers.
Total Recall.
One of my very favorite films. A bunch of great stuff. He has a new film called Benedetta. Yeah, and it's brilliant. I love it. It reminds me a lot of Ken Russell's The Devils, which is a really awesome 70s film that Warner Brothers has like locked away, and you can only watch like one month out of a year on a streaming service. It's unfortunate. I saw it on 35 millimeter when I was like 19, and it like kind of changed my life. So seeing Verhoeven, who I just adore, tackle somewhat similar subject matter is just captivating for me. But what really sells this movie, it's about like a lesbian nun who thinks she's like the next Virgin Mary, but also maybe the next Jesus.
Well, that happens.
Yeah. It's based on a true story, in quotes.
Okay.
But it's also like set during the bubonic plague. And so it's like the actions she does, which a lot of people in her community think is bullshit, like these like miracles she performs, they also seem to be helping the community like stay away from the Black Plague. So it's like there's like this really fun like balancing act the movie does, where like you have no idea how much you can trust the protagonist at any point in time.
Right.
He always has like really complicated, interesting protagonists, and I think this is like one of his most interesting. And he's always kind of played with Christ imagery, like RoboCop is a Christ figure in a way.
For
like
sure.
the scene where he gets his arm blown off. There's an interview where Paul Verhoeven is like, "I was doing Jesus on the cross," and like they like superimpose like a specific painting. And he has a book. I haven't read it yet, but it's called Jesus of Nazareth, and it's about his depiction of the Virgin Mary story, which is that she was raped by a bunch of guards, and then it's like a somewhat brutal his version retelling of the Christ story.
So that movie is called Jesus of Nazareth.
That's a book that he wrote in.
Oh, that's a book. All right. It was also a NBC miniseries over Easter holiday in the 80s, which is why I was like, oh, did he direct that one?
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Who is your favorite director? Who is your inspiration?
I love Greg Araki a lot. Do you know who that is?
I do not.
He did Mysterious Skin, The Doom Generation, Nowhere.
I'm not familiar with any of those titles either, but okay.
You should watch Mysterious Skin. It's a brutal film, but really, really good. It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in it. It's one of my very favorite performances. Highly recommend.
Okay. I like the Joe Golev. He does some weird shit.
This is probably his weirdest film.
How old is it?
2004. So he's pretty young.
Okay. Very cool.
It's shot by Steve Gaynor, who's one of my favorite working cinematographers. Len and I talked a lot about his work on Punisher Warzone before we shot Pact of Vengeance. That's an awesome film, huh?
Punisher Warzone is underrated. I only saw it the one time, but I was like, there's a lot of great in this. No one's acknowledging that.
Awesome. When did you see it? Like right when it came out? No,
I saw it on a Blu-ray.
Okay,
someone rented it.
Yeah,
and then I also listened to the "How Did This Get Made" episode with Lexi Alexander, and I forget if they covered that movie specifically, but that chick is also wild, and she was the director of Warzone.
Crazy, yeah. I probably shouldn't be like on the record with my opinions on Lexi Alexander, but
no, she's gonna hunt you down.
Filmmaker.
Okay, well, as long as you're speaking positive of her. That chick will pull the
be on Twitter. That's my take.
That's actually
a lot of people should. I shouldn't be on Twitter. I'm not one to talk, but I don't say the shit she says.
I've dipped off Twitter a lot, and then I see some folks I know like, come on, guys, we're like 15 years into this game now. Like, let's not get this over emotional about anything.
No,
it's not necessary. But so let's see. We talked about your favorite director. Benedetta, is that your favorite movie of the year?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think anything else. I liked a lot of movies this year. I don't think anything else comes close.
Now, is that the best movie of the year you've seen so far? There is a difference.
Probably. I don't know. I don't. Usually, my favorite thing is the best. If I like it that much, I think it is the best.
Dig it. I keep going through this dichotomy because. So recently, I just saw the newest Ghostbusters.
How was that?
So I didn't want to like it, and I didn't want a new Ghostbusters after part 2. Like I gave Girl Ghostbusters a chance. I was like, I like the visuals, but this isn't good. But I didn't overreact like everyone else did.
It was just a normal bad studio comedy. Nothing special about it. I never got the hate. It's just whatever.
I agree. And then they announced this, and I was like, you know what? I don't want this. Just leave it alone. That first one is the best. We had part 2. We now got this other one. Just leave it alone, guys. Having said all that, it is my favorite movie of the year. Like, I knew there was gonna be all the Easter eggs. I hate all the Easter eggs. Spoiler alert: the Ghostbusters themselves are the worst part of the movie.
That sounded really bad. CGI Harold Ramis sounded bad.
He's not bad, actually. And it's just like, for what it is, you're like, oh, thank God this is all it was. And they didn't let him talk.
Not letting him talk is a good choice.
Not letting him talk is paramount.
Do you remember how haunting it was seeing Leia in Rogue One, like right after she died, the young CG Leia saying hope at the end of the, like I puked a little bit in that moment. I was like mortified.
So I didn't have a problem with CGI Leia because I looked it up on IMDb and they just found a Swedish chick who looked like Carrie Fisher, and then just like, MySpace filtered her properly. And I was like, I don't know why everyone hates this. And then so I saw it at an Alamo Draft House. So when we got to Peter Cushing's part, I was just like, I also don't see what's going on here, but I'm also at an angle and we're wearing the 3D glasses, so the screen's a little darker. So I'm not picking it up. I'm like, for a second, I didn't
that
remember
movie
he
was in
dead.
3D.
Yes, it was.
I had no idea.
It was. Oh yeah, it was still just the very end of the 3D craze. Very end.
It's a shame. I liked 3D. It was hit or miss, but 3D generally good.
The 3D that is good is great. You should check out. I don't know when you'll ever get to check it out again, but Alpha in IMAX 3D, fucking amazing. That's
came out recently,
Albert Hughes.
Right? Yeah,
about 3-4 years ago now.
Yeah.
But it's the original boy and his dog story. Like, we're talking about like a tribe of Icelandic folks that don't even speak a language that exists anymore. Like, the thing ain't in English whatsoever. It's all subtitles. It's all just this old ass language that may not even exist or may not even be a thing. But it's just this the tribesman's son gets fucked up on his very first excursion, and then he has to make his way home. But he makes friends with a wolf, which is, supposed to be super bad news, but they take care of each other, Steven. They got each other's back. But the 3D in it, amazing.
I can imagine they could do it well because so much of that movie is CGI. Like, I bet that's crazy. I'd like to see that.
If you can, do it. It was one of those things where I was like, I saw the trailer and I was like, I will check that out. And then when it came to San Francisco, the only option was IMAX 3D. And it was for a week. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad I saw this when I did. But when it comes back to Peter Cushing, now I have this beautiful 4K TV right over here. And it doesn't matter if like I'm watching a Red Letter Media thing or something on IGN. Anytime they reference that, I absolutely see how awful the Peter Cushing CGI is. It looks like a video game.
Yeah,
it looks like a video game.
The lighting doesn't fit
with
at all.
The movie.
Yeah. I didn't like that film very much. There are like aspects of it I see potential in, but you also could just like, or at least I see where the reshoots are. Like the seams of the reshoots just feel very obvious. I don't know. That always bugs me.
I ended up working the press junket for Rogue One.
That's cool.
I got to work with Gareth Edwards the entire day, so I oversaw his suite.
I like most of
it was neat, but it was also like at one point we're maybe an hour and a half in, then all of a sudden like he gets up and 4 of his handlers get up and they all just exit the room. And I was like, oh no, what just happened? Like I've got a line of journalists, like
that was during the movie?
During the press junket.
Oh, okay. During the junket, not during the screening of the film.
No. I don't even know if they had the screening yet. I just showed up to the hotel.
Disney like fired him from that movie, right? They like kept it hush hush, but like someone else came in and did most of like reshot a lot of that film.
If
they did the same thing on other films. So I
happened, then he is the greatest employee of the month ever, because he did 50 interviews that day and he maybe repeated himself 5 times. Honestly, he tried to give everybody their own exclusive interview. He was just a wealth of knowledge. He was still like happy in love with the movie.
That's great.
He was exhausted. No, he was exhausted by the end. He was just like, at the end of the day, I was like, yo, man, how are you feeling? He's like, well, exhausted. And I was like, I was like, it's like an interrogation, right? He's like, yeah. And then we had a little bit of fun with that. But like, so the story I just told you where he just gets up and his entourage leaves with him. We would find out, I would find out the next day through the dirt rags on YouTube that George Lucas called him and like, so I just saw your first cut of Rogue One and it's pretty fantastic. Yeah, that's what I would do too. And I was just like, what? That's what threw off my whole day. Like, we had 75 people lined up and we only got to just over 50. And at one point the main handler was like, so everyone's supposed to get 5. Now they're only getting 3. And then this chick from the Russian consulate was like, yo, what the fuck? you literally only gave me 2.5 minutes. I was like, yep,
Oh.
that happened. And he's like, I was supposed to get 5. He's like, yeah, I know. They changed the rules on me. It's like, I really don't appreciate this. Like, I don't either. You can talk to my superiors about it.
It's not. I don't have anything to do with it.
I'm just trying to facilitate everything here. And
Yeah. Good for him. I'm glad Lucas liked it. I'm glad he got that call because I doubt that was an easy production. But do you like that movie? It worked for you?
It was not a fun movie, but I did like it. But it is not a fun movie. Like, me and my cousin left it, and I was just like, ooh, I need a drink. And I don't need like the let's celebrate drink. I was just like, yeah, we just witnessed all these people die. Yeah. I guess there's not going to be a sequel, except for the fact that it's called episode 4. But
well, except for the fact that they're doing a miniseries like prequel or whatever now, so they are doing more. Yeah,
that's dumb. But they've been doing dumb stuff like that.
Yeah,
I like the actor. I like the character, even. But I was just like, let's stop going backwards. All right, go forwards.
Go forward, please, and stop just redoing the EU now. Do something new. Don't care.
Yeah. I 1000% agree. Like the Mandalorian is surprisingly good. Everyone loves the baby Grogu, but no, we need something different. Book of Boba Fett's coming up, but you know what we've only been promised? That one screenshot that's taken from a comic book panel that I don't even remember the artist who did it. Like, and that was from the early 2000s, maybe the late 90s. You'll watch a Boba Fett movie?
Yeah, but not a TV show. That's my rule.
You know what? For what it's going to be, let's even say they do the conservative 6 episodes, like what they're doing with the Marvel stuff here. They could easily just make that shit a fucking movie, a 2.5-hour movie, and just be done with it. Like,
and actually pack it full of cool shit. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I liked Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or whatever it was called, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I was like, we didn't need 6 hours of this. Just you could have totally trimmed this down to 2.5 hours. Let's put them in a fun movie. But
I haven't watched any of those shows.
They are all entertaining, but they are not. Don't believe the hype.
No, Loki looks like nice for what it is. I saw some clips from it, and it looks better than most of the movies. At least, like the photography.
Loki is fine, and it looks like the entire series looks like a 70s GQ pictorial. I
like that.
But, of all the series that they've done so far, the fact that it's getting a second season was like, oh, fuck you. No, I don't want more of this. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it to its 6. We
right. If you're already asking me for 6 hours, don't do more. Put all the ideas in one season, please.
They have the new Hawkeye series out right now, and
I forgot.
We are halfway through it. We've done 3 episodes out of 6, and I was just like, okay, this is fine. But again, this could have been a 2-hour Disney Plus movie. It would have been fine.
Yeah. Is Florence Pugh in it?
She is, but she has not made her appearance yet. And that's where it's just like, no, again, we only need 2 hours of this, guys. We don't stretch this out. So with Ghostbusters being my favorite movie, I think the best movie so far is one of the 3 of Zola, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, which is too long.
It is, yeah.
And The Last Duel is killing it, which no
one
saw.
I haven't seen that yet. I want to see that. I was shooting Pact of Vengeance when I had my window to see it, basically. Did you see House of Gucci?
Yes.
Did you like it?
Like it? No.
I didn't love it, but I had fun with it. I don't know. I thought it was goofy as hell.
It's definitely goofy. Jared Leto is doing an impersonation of what if Sean Penn is doing an Italian impersonation? That's what I got out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Jared Leto was hysterical. I hate Jared Leto as an actor, but I was very amused by his performance. I'm not going to say it was good. I laughed at it, and I do think that was Scott's intention. So I guess it worked for me. But.
Yeah, I don't hate the Leto. I thought he shot for the moon on that one. But yeah, I was unfamiliar with the story. Maybe that had something to do with it, but it was just it's long and it's dry and it's slow and it's not entertaining to me. Music choices very weird, where they're playing like George Michael's Faith like 5 years before it
Yeah.
came
They were
out.
all early. Isn't that funny? Like, I think almost every single needle drop was before the song should have come out.
It's a very weird
Um,
sync, right? Okay, so it wasn't just
yeah.
me then. Okay, I'm glad you
No,
got that.
but I will say the needle drops themselves were excellent. I think they worked very well in the
Great
context
scenes.
of the scenes. Yeah. So,
Yeah, great.
you
Like
know.
the scene in the dance club, I was just like, yeah, man, this isn't the right song, but I like how Lady Gaga's moving. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
There was that Eurythmics song. I think Here Comes
Yes.
the Rain Again. That was a really good one. You know, they hit with that. Okay. I want to talk about The Eyes of Tammy Faye real quick. When
Break
I
it
saw
down.
that movie at the Alamo Drafthouse, and I think I have it somewhere near me.
That would probably be a fun movie to see at the Draft House.
It was an empty screening, but what made it fun, I saw it with my friend Grant. What made it fun was that, you know how you have the order cards at the Alamo?
Yes.
I pulled one out to order, and the one I pulled out, oh man, where the fuck is this? I still have it around here. Is this it? Yep. Okay. It said, "Are they saying Jim was a cheating closet homosexual?" Question mark. Someone like passed this note to their husband, I guess. They went to go see The Eyes of Tammy Faye, thinking it was going to be like a pro Jim Baker movie, and then learned he was gay.
Wow.
Which that amused me more than the actual. Oh fuck! I saw the trailer for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and I was very excited. And it's shot by an amazing cinematographer who did Under the Silver Lake. It Follows, that other good stuff. Yeah. I think his name's Juliakis or something. He's amazing. I didn't actually love his work that much in Eyes of Tammy Faye, but I was excited to see it based on the trailer. Great trailer. I hadn't looked up who the director was until like the opening, like right before the movie started. And I saw it was Michael Showalter, who I don't like hate or anything, but I haven't liked anything by him very much. So
have you ever watched any of The State?
The State's great. Yes, I do like The State, but that's a different, that's TV, and it's like 20 years ago.
Fair enough. Yeah, I keep forgetting that Showalter directed that. Like that's even more impressive to me. So again, it's like 20 minutes too long, but I enjoyed the shit out of it. I would love to go back and look at the actual documentary it's based on.
I hear the documentary is amazing. Yeah.
They absolutely are implying, referring to your note there, that Jim Baker was a closeted homosexual, but they don't even focus on that enough. Like this is literally
that's
through
my
the eyes of
with
Tammy Faye.
Yeah. Okay. And you're telling me Tammy Faye never once walked in on him actually doing anything gay? We needed that scene. If I'm going to get a scene of him getting a hand job in the bathtub, I need a scene of him getting sloppy toppy and her walking in. I'm sorry. That's like essential to the experience of someone with like a closeted husband that's cheating on them. You need that scene in the movie. I don't know.
I can see why you'd be upset by that.
It was scared to go there. That's how I felt.
I don't think it was scared to go there. I think she was just that oblivious to it, dude. Like
Entirely?
She's literally distracted by shiny things. Yes, the entire time, my guy. Like she's literally she's about God. She likes shiny things. She loves her husband. She's also distracted with kids and a mom that neglects her, but kind of likes her, but doesn't want to acknowledge her at the same time. Like she's got so many distractions going on. And then they had so much property. They're like, yeah, we got a wing for like pregnant teenagers, and we got a wing for lepers, and
But he was doing it like at the TV studio, like you're telling me he wasn't like doing nefarious shit in the green room. Like
not impossible, but she's probably from what I got from her family life, shit was so conservative that if she just was outside the door and she was like, don't come in here. She'd be like, I guess I shouldn't go in there. All right.
I don't know what's going on. All right, that's fair. That's valid. Yeah. I'm just a pervert who wanted that scene in the movie. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and if it had been from Jim Baker's point of view, you'd have probably seen that.
Yeah. You know what? I might have liked the movie from Jim Baker's perspective more if it showed me all his terrible stuff. Because that's the other. Jim Baker's like a rapist, in the movie. Like kind of just, she's like, I know what you did to that poor girl, and that's like all it ever says about it. I don't know. Like, that guy's super evil. We can depict him as super duper evil.
So they never go into it, but the chick he gets into the scandal with, whose name escapes me, despite it being such a big thing in the 90s, Tammy Hawkins, Tawny so and so.
It was another Tammy.
Yeah, it might have been another Tammy, but she would end up doing Playboy, and she's actually in Tales from the Crypt,
Really?
Bordello of Blood.
I haven't seen that. Love Demon Knight.
It's not a good movie. Demon Knight's awesome. They tried to do a second movie, which with Dennis Miller, and it didn't work. It was no bueno.
Dennis Miller,
and then, he was hot at that time. He was super hot at the time. He was not even the conservative that he was. This is pre 9/11. That's how late it goes. But anyway,
9/11 broke a lot.
Jessica Hahn.
That's the girl's
Jessica
name?
Hahn.
No.
That's the woman's name. And it's weird that they didn't focus more on that, because that was a huge scandal. Even at like 13, I was like, wow, this Jessica Hahn, she is crazy. What's going on?
What exactly did she accuse him of? Like, what was the full scandal?
She was taken against her will in a hotel room between Jim Baker and another man.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that shit. Wow. That should have been in the movie. It's like Weinstein.
That should have been in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty. You need to see the Tammy hearing how bad that is. I don't know. Because here's my thing. It's such a long movie with so many scenes that don't need to be there. I feel like it leaves so many juicy bits out. You know? I don't know. It is. I don't know. I had no idea I rate like everything on Letterboxd. I had no idea how to rate that movie because I thought the performances were really fun, but I just didn't like the pacing of it at all. I felt like it was trying to hit like every beat of her life, and it didn't need to hit every beat. I don't know. But I would recommend it. I recommended it to my mom. I don't know.
She's a pretty progressive chick when you think about it. Like,
yeah, she's an awesome figure.
Just filter out all the bullshit that we saw in that 2.5-hour movie. Like when she's supposed to be sitting at the table of wives, she's like, no, I'm half of the show, so I'm gonna sit at the table with all the head honchos. You know, like here, Jim, hold your daughter. I'm gonna fucking eat a hot dog. You know, she's doing that shit. When it comes to, she was laying down tracks at the time. She's like, Jim Baker, this isn't good. You need to fucking focus and handle this shit, and we need to get this money for God. You know, and that was the driving force. So, and then the whole homosexuals and HIV, and that was a big thing. They're like, yeah, we don't like the homosexual church. She's like, they're Christians too.
Yeah.
They're Christian. You know, let them live. We're here to love everybody. Everybody.
She's trying to humanize HIV victims at a time where they're like being mostly ignored by the government and all, you know, just like this horrible treatment.
Yeah, the biggest thing from the movie that I got that were with the Christian lifestyle, they're like, you know, we're supposed to just live moderately, mediocrely, like below our level even, you know. But Jim Baker's like, why do we gotta be broke? Let's get this money. Let's live comfortably, you know. And James like, I want to live comfortably too. I want to have all the dresses. I want all the jewelry, but let's also love God at the same time.
Garfield was excellent. It's very, very funny performance from him.
He was great. And I hope we get an Oscar nomination out of him, but it's probably just too early.
He's ignored time and time again. Like his performance's silence is incredible, and people don't really care about that one. I don't know. Did you see Dragged Across Concrete?
I have not yet. I bought it for $5 on iTunes, so nice. I have it, but I haven't watched it because I was like, everyone keeps saying it's great.
It is really good, and he's phenomenal in it.
The same guy who did that did Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Love that movie. Yeah, Zoller. Yeah, he's a great screenwriter too.
Greatest R&B soundtrack of the year, FYI.
Oh, fuck yeah. Did you know he wrote the lyrics to all those songs?
No, I did not.
Yeah. Isn't that cool? Yeah, hey, awesome girl, soundtrack.
Coming back, my yeah. Oh, shit. That's amazing.
They kind of like tell the story. Like if you listen to the album with that in context, it's cool.
I bought the soundtrack. That's how much I liked
Nice.
it. Like,
Yeah. Very good soundtrack.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Wow. I have to listen to that shit again. We mentioned Zola a little bit. What do you like about Zola? Because I didn't know anything about the story going into it.
I'd love to talk about Zola. That director, I think her name is Jensiska Bravo. I hope I said it right. She's awesome. She's married to a comedian I like a lot. I don't know if she still is, but he was the star of her movie Lemon, which isn't my favorite thing from her. But when I was in high school, she did an awesome short film with Michael Cera. I think it's called Gregory Go Boom. And something about that short film really clicked with me. I like watched it a ton, studied the craft. And then it ended up like eventually going on like the Criterion channel last year, which I thought was pretty crazy because it was always like a goofy short film. My friends thought I was like stupid for liking so much, but it rocks. So I've like been kind of just from a distance, like watching her career, rooting for her since I saw that. And Zola, I loved the initial tweet thread when I think it was 2015 when that happened. I would have been like 18.
Wow, you're young.
Yeah, I'm 24. And so I like that was just sort of like iconic to me in a way. Like she's like her style of prose and just like the way she tells the story is riveting. Like the energy of those tweets are incredible. So when I saw that it was this director doing that story, I was very excited. Then you see the trailer, it's shot on 16 millimeter. You can tell just from the trailer, the cast is perfect. And yeah, I just think that movie really came together. A lot of people don't, I guess, like they like it, but they don't feel like it nails it. I don't know. It really, really worked for me.
There's a lot of uncomfortable scenes in that movie.
Yeah,
so I get why people don't like it. Yeah. But I went into that thing super blind, so I didn't even see the trailer. It's literally one of those things. I'm looking at the Regal app, and I was like, Zola. All right. I'm seeing people on the Facebook posts like Zola's a shit. Zola is amazing. You see Zola, and I'm just like, wow, 4:00. Yeah, that's a 20-minute walk from here. Let's do it. And I was blown away. I was like, this is amazing. I love all of this. It might be the best movie that doesn't win anything this year.
I don't think it'll win anything, but it's excellent for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think both of those lead performances deserve a performance. And the pimp character, who is that? Omari something?
Domingo Coleman.
Domingo Coleman. There we go. Yeah, that guy's incredible.
Terrifying.
He's given a lot of good performances this year.
He starts off with his broken English, and you're just like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, he's like, yo, I'm gonna strangle you right now. He's like, oh my God, what's happening here? Domingo Coleman, leave me alone.
Yeah. Really terrifying performance. And then the guy from Succession, the goofy dude, her boyfriend. What a funny role.
Is he from Succession? I haven't seen that series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, the episode that aired last night was insane. That show's great. I think you'd dig it.
Who does he play in Succession? Just for those paying attention.
He plays a character named Greg, who's like Succession's like a sort of like a parody of the Murdoch family. So it's like a rich media company. And Succession's like the fail son nephew who they just kind of drag around to like make fun of.
Wow.
Yeah. So that character is like, you know, he's kind of the same character that he is in Zola in a way. Like it's just he's a really good loser.
Oh shit, man, dude, we've literally gone over an hour now.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, man, we did great, dude. We just had a conversation. We had a lot of fun. I think this is a good spot to stop. But is there anything else you want to just throw out there? We haven't even hit plugs yet. Is there anything you want to throw out there?
I don't know. I have a music video called Celestial Being for Bob McCauley, aka Wizard of, that just came out. That's pretty good. Pact of Vengeance trailer just released. By Len Kabasinkis and I. He's the writer and director and the cinematographer and editor. Put a lot of work into the trailer. I think it looks good. Apparently you think it looks good. That's enough for me.
It does. When do we think Pact of Vengeance will be completed and ready for distribution?
Well, ready for distribution, I don't know exactly how it's going to work because he puts stuff on his Patreon. So
dig it. But when do you think this thing will be ready?
I'm supposed to have it done by March, and I'm really trying to.
Okay.
But it's a huge undertaking. It really is. I really want to get the audio right. I feel like audio makes a lot of independent movies sink or swim, and it's going to take me a lot of time to get the audio right. Like I learned a lot of new techniques just to get the trailer sounding better. Like I learned how to make a side chain, and did a thing called ducking, so that like when the music was playing, it like did a real the compressor did a perfect job, like dropping the audio underneath people's voices. Which is a great thing to know. I usually just keyframe it or whatever, but it's good to have. So assuming I don't like end up so broke I can't work on the movie anymore because I'm working so much on everything else, it should be done by March.
All right. We'll dig this, y'all. I do a bunch of different stuff around here. You can find us on Waffle Box Pod. It's the best part of Wednesdays. Mike Fish, Kush Hayes, friend of the family. We do it every Wednesday. Like I said, it's the best part of Wednesdays. We've been talking about Len Kabasinkis this entire hour here. We got the season finale of the Kick-Ass Movie Podcast. We're talking best of the best. Special guests, Kai of Kush And Kai, Jameel Hemphill, Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer from Sweet Science Cinema. They're going to be the guests on this. You should check it out. We just recorded it. It's a fantastic episode. Might be the best episode of the season, of the series. All right, dare I say.
Sounds high.
Otherwise, you know where everything else is. We do this, we do that. For Steven Steinbacher, I've been Kush Hayes. You've been you.
Microdose, 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 yeah, microdose.
From the BosNet family.
The Sibian.